Everybody say hi to Jen when we get back.
Double click something. Hello, everybody. I, for some reason, don't have my chat going here. There we go. I couldn't, in Streamlabs, couldn't see the chat. Hello, Yane.
I couldn't see shit.
Yeah,
Hey,
I can't
Jen.
see fucking shit in this thing. That's one of my favorite lines. And I think that's, is that Jonah Hill that delivers that line? He is one of the most surprising casts in, Django Unchained. Because he's one of the KKK members.
Jonah's character.
Yeah. I can't see fucking shit in this thing. Welcome. This video is going to be 18 plus because I think we cursed literally right off of the bat.
Oh, darn it.
No, they're
Does that make up for it?
To the
Oh,
original way.
shucks.
Oh, okay. I did get a video restricted for violence because we watched the body cam footage of them murdering that guy, that gang of cops. We are live. We are reviewing 2 movies. We are down a man. He was supposed to be here with us, but he had prior engagements.
He's out for good reasons.
Informant, and so he can't make it tonight. So we're going to be still doing 2 fucking movies, and that's going to be Waxwork and Deadstream. A little bit of old, little bit of new, something borrowed. Alex is wearing something blue. We have everything we need for the wedding. So before we do that, what have you guys been watching or doing other than reviewing the 2 movies we had to review?
For me, I've been... Johnny, you haven't been back. Go ahead.
Sorry. I've been continuing my adventure of Japanese horror films. So I'm getting into like the super obscure ones, like ones you can't find here at all.
Giovanni is
how are you
going to
obtaining these
he's
videos?
going to the fucking dark web to get Ringu 4.
Yeah. And then you have to they don't have subtitles because they never released them here. So you have to find a VAT file where somebody created subtitles for the movie.
Dude, I'm
so
good for you that you're willing to do that, but fuck that.
I'm out.
I will say I did that. I did do that for one movie, and it's when I bootlegged Rammstein's Live aus Berlin. And it didn't come with subtitles, and I remember looking at it going, son of a bitch. So then I found the VAT file that somebody had done.
You had to find them.
But I know the songs, but what the fuck is he saying?
But then I bought it on Amazon the one day that came with its own subtitles and realized just how fucking wrong the other subtitles really were. It was terrible. I'm stupid. What have you been watching, Alex?
For me, I've been finishing up that series arc on Sci-Fi, the new one.
The series where they're so stupid they put all of their top leaders in the same arc, right? Okay.
In the same section of the arc, yeah. Also, I started watching Monk season 1.
I'm down for some Tony Shalhoub. I've named 2 Tony Shalhoub movies that are amazing. Men in Black, because I mean he's technically in
Men in Black 2.
And 13 Ghosts.
Oh, I know. He's the father, yeah.
13 Ghosts.
He fathered Shannon Elizabeth.
Oh, yeah, right? That hairy monkey of a fucking man made her. That mother must have been fucking... I mean, we saw the mother. She wasn't that stellar. I don't know how you put Monk and the mother together and you get that, but okay. Also, I don't know what you had to put in the machine to get Jessica Biel either. I'm always interested to see these really handsome celebrities and really beautiful ones, what their family looks like. Because some of them... their mother's 55 or 60 and still looks like she's 40. Some of it's in the genes.
Well, yeah. You look at Sylvester Stallone and some of his daughters, just what? He actually
for one thing,
father of them?
How does a 5'9" man make 6'1" daughters? Can somebody explain that to me?
Who's always had a jaw like this?
Hey, I every time I see an ad for it, I kind of want to try out that Tulsa King show a little bit more. I saw on the YouTube Shorts there was one of them where he's buying weed from a weed farm.
Oh yeah, okay.
And he's eating the apricot glaze and they're negotiating and the guy's and he's like, how do I know this is good stuff? And he's like, well, that apricot glaze you've been eating? And he's like, and then the short ends with he's like, I was wondering why I was feeling so good as he goes to eat more. Shit like that makes me kind of want to watch that shit.
He looks at the other guy and he's like, seriously? He's like, it's
a wheat farm, yeah. Which that dude is the same. He's the teacher in the Spider-Man movies. He is in that show about the caterers or something. I can't remember the fucking. It just got revived, but apparently it's terrible now. Party something. It was him and Adam Scott and some other fucking losers. I don't know. If I can't remember the name, it doesn't fucking matter. What have I been watching? I don't even know, dude. I kind of fell off from watching movies because A, there's not a lot of shit coming out. And B, I've been playing a lot of like Yakuza games. Like I beat Like a Dragon and I'm playing Judgment now. And those are like fucking movies you play. So
the Yakuza games are amazing.
They really are.
Didn't you also watch The Office recently?
We're binging it now. We just ran out of the Superfan episode. So now we're in season 7, which is also the season Michael leaves the show. So
that was more of a joke because anybody who knows you knows that you watch The Office at least 5 times a year.
No, it's 2, maybe 3. It depends. I mean, my dog died at the beginning of the year. I needed something. Dog died and I got fucking COVID. I needed something to feel better. That's the excuse I give everybody else when I spit at children on the street. I don't have dementia, so I got to think of something. But yeah, we haven't watched a ton of movies. A lot of The Office. We really need to settle in on another show to watch, like because we try to do a comedy and a serious, but we haven't had time for anything but kind of The Office. We need to settle in on a serious. Like we started Yellowstone, and I would love to continue that, but there's so many good fucking shows out there now. It's like, how do you lock into just one? And each one of them are 45 minutes apiece.
Yeah, what is Yellow Jackets? I've been hearing a lot of stuff about that, but I don't know what it is.
No clue.
Yeah, no, I just hear about Yellowstone. That's one I got to start.
Well, Yellowstone's a weird one because now you got the whole thing of Kevin Costner might be leaving, which may get the show canceled. But then Yellowstone has 2 prequels. It's got 1923 and then 18 something. I don't fucking know. Too much, maybe. Maybe there's just too much in that universe. Why is Kevin
Costner wanting to leave, though?
I think the whole thing boils down to he wants to work less. Like he was trying to dictate. Like, I'm only filming for 2 weeks, like, in so many parameters that the show creator and the producers of it are basically like, we'll just shit can the show, and we've got 2 others running right now in the same universe.
I think he still wants to spend more time with family than he does working.
What has he been? He could do that. Where has he been working that much? I'm sorry, in the past decade, Kevin Costner hasn't been the hot ticket he once was. Yellowstone. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Yellowstone has brought him back to popularity, and I understand wanting to be with family, right? But you are kind of biting the hand that feeds when you're like, yeah, thanks for bringing me back to relevancy, but fuck you, I'm a star. Is the way I kind of essentially take it. Whether that's the case or not, I don't know. But like, it sure seems that way from all accounts.
I'm wondering if something's going on with it because he wants to spend time with his wife a lot. And that was what happened when they were gonna go to the SAG Awards or something, where there was like all that shit that was happening in their hometown with the floods and all that shit and the storms, and he didn't want to leave her.
Well, I mean, I can understand that sort of scenario, but once again, this is late career. You're at the end of your career, like especially with drama going down where you're exiting a TV show. You're probably not getting the main ticket on another TV show, so it's like. Not to be shitty, but milk it for all it's fucking worth. Like, why would you want this to end at his age with his career? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, where does Kevin Costner fit in any movie? Think of any movie coming out. Does he fit in any of them?
Hey, they could do Waterworld too.
Yeah, and only you and like 4 other blind people would go fucking watch it.
Postman 2.
I'll be right back. I gotta do something.
So Giovanni, tell us about some new game purchases you've done. I'm sure you've got a few.
Fatal Frames. Resident Evil 4.
What about tabletop?
Elden Ring.
Okay, they have one
on Elden Ring. Yeah.
Do they have miniatures or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was $700.
Okay, what is wrong with you? We've been doing a podcast for how fucking long, and there's 20 seconds of silence before anything is uttered when I leave the screen? Are you kidding me?
It was.
I heard dead air. Right, I heard no, it wasn't right away. Your counting is off, sir. It was dead air for at least 20 is exaggerated. It was dead air for at least 5 seconds, and then it was. So, what games have you bought? I didn't even see your face, and I feel like I know what your face looked like. Oh, you did mention tabletops. Did you? I don't know if you have any interest, but did you see that Sea of Thieves has a tabletop coming?
Yep, Sea of Thieves. That one show that Anthony likes, Vikings that has a tabletop
They are
game to it.
milking
Okay.
that property for all they
Yeah.
can. Holy shit, there's Vikings everything. I'm pretty sure I can get Vikings underwear. Not even joking.
Do it. Do it.
Eh,
Probably him.
Show it on stream.
Yeah, that's see, pasty white motherfuckers that don't have voluptuous big boobies. I get kicked from Twitch for that
Hey,
shit.
some people might like your voluptuous boobies.
My phone is up. Hi, Nikki. Congratulations to Nikki for an unnamed sting.
Hey, Nikki.
Yeah, like that's the thing is I feel like if I were to
Oh, I heard an echo.
even attempt any, it's with your stuff because you did it earlier and it's not Giovanni or I. It's something going on. Maybe it's just in your head.
Okay.
Because I have no other audio, like, at all. I don't even have a fucking fan on, I don't think. I have the heat on for the first time in, like, months. No, that's not true. It's fucking Chicago. It's always on. Well, we have it closed off on the vents because it just gets too goddamn hot. And the other night it was really chilly in here to where I was forced to open up the vents.
You guys got snow still going by you or no?
I think it's done at this point.
Yeah, because we were told that it was going to end at like noon, and it's still been snowing all day today for us over here.
I don't think we had much accumulation though. None of it really stuck.
It's only sticking on the cars and on the grass, not the sidewalks.
Yeah, the ground's too warm still, I think. So, which is good because we don't want it to fucking stick because it's March. I'm tired of it. Fuck it. Like, I don't want it anymore. Like, I'll tell you what, give me 60 degrees and rain for whatever instead of fucking snow.
Oh, fuck rain.
Yeah, but I'd rather have 60 degrees in rain than fucking 35 degrees in snow or 32 in snow.
I'm too old. I'm just worried about every time that the ground gets slippery, I'm going to fall and break a fucking hip.
Get good shoes, bro. You gotta get those ones you wear at restaurants and shit. Get those ones that stick.
And moon boots.
Yeah.
But some of us call those Marshall shoes.
Listen, as a man who can't just buy shoes, like I gotta go and get fucking ogre sizes, I don't want to hear any complaints. You can go to any store you want and buy shoes. What size are you? Any of
Me,
you?
12.
Yeah, you can
12.
go anywhere and get shoes. Giovanni?
12.
It's gotta be nice.
Actually, when I go to the place, they actually have to tell me, oh, no, we don't have that style, but we have this. And when I look at it, I'm like, no, I don't want that fucking shit.
I will say for
So I have to order them.
big-feeted people, they have like, no, too fat. And they have to like, also,
That's the thing, that mine is wide.
well, the big shoes also have a completely different style. Like, you're not gonna find a Converse in 16. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
like that's and you shouldn't really, because Converses
They're
are nothing
too
but
thin.
shitty fat. Well, Converses aren't cool. I mean, I know people love them and they're iconic, but like they are some of the shittiest shoes you can buy as far as how thin they are. Like, they're not really meant for anything but stomping skulls. And nowadays, anybody who wears them doesn't stomp skulls. They don't even know what fucking gender they are.
Those are meant for style, but if you're 13, they're meant for doing all that other
See,
shit.
I am to believe that Converses are not meant for 13-year-olds.
Okay.
Not that 13-year-olds shouldn't be able to wear them, but I don't think the original intention for that shoe was marketed towards 13-year-olds.
It was sports. It was
like
basketball
athletics,
players.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking 13-year-olds are ruining everything. They ruin their parents' lives. They ruin shoes. Oh, we haven't even talked about it really, but there are 2 movies that we did watch.
Yes.
Which one do you guys want to run through first? Are we going age, so old to new, or are we going classic to, the new one first? What do you want to do?
I think old to new, me, personally.
Yeah, we
All
start
right, so
Waxwork.
we'll start off this review much like the movie starts, with no explanation, and we're just going to go right into it. So, one of the most off-putting intros in any movie I've ever had, and I think Giovanni pinpointed it perfectly, it's because it feels like an episode of Goosebumps.
Yeah.
The movie
it's-
just kind of
it's
starts,
really weird.
and it's even got, like, title text, but then it's, like, right into a murder. Like, immediately.
But the music also, the music that it
Yeah.
starts with is like, whoa, this is going to be an
It's
uppity movie.
off-putting.
It was
Yeah, it's
it
really
was one of those
off-putting.
things, like, by the beginning of the movie, you could have been watching a TGIF Halloween special and not known it.
Yeah.
Like, it was
I
that,
thought-
you know?
I thought it was going to start off with some like flapper girls dancing and shit.
I
Like,
do
the
wanna
way
say-
the music was going.
I still enjoy Waxwork. I really do. It's one of those movies but it's because of the nostalgia of it, not because it's a great movie.
So
Yeah.
this is not nostalgia for me. This is the first time.
Oh,
I've seen
okay.
this movie.
Ooh.
Okay. So you're like, what is
Um,
this shit?
You're a virgin.
Yeah, this was crazy. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
So I remember loving this movie as a kid because the idea of like he just got pushed into it. Now he's part of the scene, man. I even like the scenes where they push him in and you don't see the story, but then they end up part of it. like the
they're
Phantom
just
of the
there.
Opera where he ends up the Bobby. You know, like I like those scenes too. But holy shit, is this a cheese fest?
It really is, and it's not even like their acting is
Well, from the
horrible.
beginning, you like I text you guys this. The characters are all designed to hate. Like they're all
Mhm.
rich white assholes. Let's be real. They live in a rich white asshole town. They go to a rich white asshole school. There's so many rich white assholes that later on in the movie, when all the wax statues come to life and they see the mummy, the guy who's supposed to be Egyptian is just a white dude, brown face painted. I don't know if anybody, I don't know if you guys noticed that there's essentially brown face in this movie.
Even before that, there's a scene where
Is made.
China is her name, by the way.
Yeah.
Goes into the vampire world, like the old English world,
Yes.
and when she's served a bucket of essentially human meat, she's like, "I like steak tartare."
I
Well,
like
you gotta be
steak
fucking
tartare.
kidding
I
me.
haven't had steak tartare in a while. That helped, but
I was
then
like, "What the hell?"
the vampire one and the one where the virgin goes in and he's whipping her and she's like, I want to
Yeah,
stay.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
What the fuck
weird.
was
I was
that?
like, "What the fuck?"
It's funny because those three actors, Billy, the main character, he's from Gremlins,
Yeah.
and he's the main character in this one. China, I can't remember what her name is in the other ones, but and then the girl that gets beat. Those are like three main staples for B movie in the '80s.
You know what's funny is you could tell that because you could tell the girl that plays China is trying everything she can to be Sharon Stone with none of the ability.
Yep.
She was, I believe, in a Van Damme movie and a Steven Seagal movie.
If it's a Van Damme movie, I'm gonna say it was Maximum Risk
I don't think so.
because that's a shitty
But
Van
that's
Damme movie. I know that for sure. I don't know if
But yeah,
she's in it, but it's shit.
But yeah, those three were like staples for B movies, and they were like all over. So like the one that was beaten up at the end for the thing, she was in April Fools. She was the main character of that. And then of course you got Billy who played in Gremlins and this. And then he actually just recently did a Gremlins animation with all the original people.
Oh wow.
You're muted, Matt.
I wish I liked animation, or not liked it, but had interest in it. Like I used to be real big into it. Like I used to Family Guy and Simpsons and all of them, and it's just like even those type animated shows, I just have no interest in. There's one on Netflix called Conspiracy something, or it's an animated show, but it's supposed to be really funny, and it's all about like the group that controls all of the conspiracies we think are happening.
It's not funny.
It's not
Oh,
good,
really?
really.
No, I don't like it.
I wanted to give it a shot because it did interest me, but man, I don't know why, but it is hard for me to turn on a fucking animated program.
Sparked my interest and then shot it down in like 3 seconds.
Well, Giovanni's just the problem with Giovanni is he's all in on the
The
Black
boobs are
Lives
not big
Matter
enough.
liberal left, I think is what it is.
No, the boobs were not big enough.
No, see, that's the thing is I don't think it has any
No,
boobs.
it's not about how big they are. It's about the jiggle physics.
The
Jiggle
jiggle
physics is good in the show.
Skyrim
good.
mods have
Jiggle,
spoiled
jiggle,
you
jiggle.
for real life. Like I feel bad for your wife who's got to be like, look, I'm sorry. Like I can't. This isn't Dead or Alive 7. I don't know what you want me to do. Come on, just dance more vigorously. And you're like, she's just like, these aren't real physics. Like I don't know what to tell you. They don't work
God.
that way. And you're like, well, then
remember
at
Dead
least
or
fight
Alive.
me.
Dead or Alive volleyball, Giovanni. Do you remember that?
I do.
But then there was that other one that was the wrestling game that was only the chicks in like bikinis. I can't remember what it was called.
Something extreme.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one.
I feel like there was hearts in the title and X's. Like X, like it was a weird Japanese game that was the same sort of jiggle physics, but it was all like chicks that wrestle each other, and it was very not licensed or anything. That game was weird. I think I got it on the cheap because the fucking wrestling game's fun, you know. Which,
I
by
got
the
it
way,
for free, I think, in a magazine.
we were talking about this. I do plan on picking up the WWE game.
Uh-huh.
The new one, right?
Yeah, I think this time I'm just gonna stream whatever I'm gonna stream on it, and if the online's down, I'm not gonna worry about going to fight other assholes. I'll just do what I do. But
No
yeah,
online service.
yeah,
Just
like trying
story
to,
mode.
yeah, just trying to play against like other randoms.
Just
I'm not gonna.
just push through the story mode.
But
Or create a character.
I do like the story modes on them. Like I really like I think 2016 had Austin, which was really good. 2017, I want to say it was Seth Rollins. 2018 was Lesnar, but they ditched that showcase mode like they have. And then I think when they brought out 2022 was like the first resurgence of the showcase mode again. Or no, I'm sorry. The one before that, 2020 with the 4 horsewomen.
Oh, they did? Shit.
Yeah. The one previous to the Rey Mysterio one is they did the 4 horsewomen's rise to power through NXT and all.
Did you purchase that one or no?
Oh yeah, I got them all. Okay. I went and hunted them down because they became increasingly rare because every year the license would expire. So the problem with those games is they all have different music in there. Like at some point, WWE's license will expire on 22 and you won't be able to buy it. They'll pull it from the market. But at the time, I was able to hunt them down on third-party markets for relatively cheap. Now, I think they're going for crazy. Like the Austin one is going for like $300 for a key out there because they're just not. Yeah, there's no fucking way I would do that.
From me.
I mean, eventually you would assume these things would start coming to the abandonware websites, but they haven't. Speaking of abandonware websites, I got the movie or the game The Thing from the movie, the sequel, that game that came out on the OG Xbox. Still awesome. Still an awesome game. Pain in the ass though, but an awesome game. Back to
I remember the
what?
I was gonna say I remember the original movie of The Thing, where his arm gets chopped off, and he's trying to make himself grow, so he had to touch the light beam that was coming through, and he starts growing back a little arm. And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger as he's touching the sun ray.
I always thought one of the coolest scenes in that movie too was when they test the blood. Like just the idea of like the dudes.
Oh wait, that thing. Sorry, that thing.
Yeah, what were you thinking of?
Oh, I was talking about the thing, the swamp thing.
That's a different movie entirely.
Yeah.
Did you know that The Thing is a remake?
John Carpenter one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which threw me off because it has its own remake, right? Or reboot, remake, sequel, whatever they considered it. Mm-hmm. Which throws me off because they basically disregard the one from 2010 exists entirely. And they just say John Carpenter's The Thing is a remake. And I was like, well, which one are you talking? I read this clickbait article. I was like, which one are you talking about? So I read on and it's like, well, the original. They don't even like talk about that 2010 one. Like it just doesn't exist.
They say that the one with Kurt Russell, the way you could tell that who is that when they're breathing, the person who's breathing the what do you call it, the fog,
the cold
breath.
Yeah,
that's how you could tell who is who, and it tells you then that who's got the thing in them or not.
Wait, but what do you mean?
So I have to watch it again. I have to watch it again. One of the characters.
Well, hold on. What's the actual theory? Because you just said if people are breathing, they have alien.
One of the characters is breathing, and there's no mist coming out from him. The other one is.
There's no
reaction.
So
now I want to go back and watch it to see which one it is. They said that the director actually said yes, that's it.
See, I want to see.
I want to see now.
I want to see if the dog then emits breath when he first comes up to him, because he wouldn't technically in that case.
Yeah.
And that means that the life form itself is dead, and the only thing keeping it alive is the alien organism.
Yeah.
Like, so presumably...
It does not require air to breathe.
So presumably, let's say you got infected by it, you're dead immediately. And whatever's walking around is now the alien. So you've been... So any one of them, when they were infected, have been dead since they were infected. Which is
that's why now I want to go back and see how it go. I want to see how it plays out. Just because of that theory I heard.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a bit. I gotta check it out again. I've been playing the game, so I've been in the mood for it anyways. But
I have the board game.
Nice.
It's kind of cool. Is
what board game don't you own, Giovanni?
Fair question.
I own quite a bit of them.
I
own all the good ones.
He's over here like, it would be better just to ask me which ones I don't own because I own a lot of them. He pulls out a fucking Excel sheet. So I've got these. Here's A through M. So WaxWork is one of the reasons I think we didn't review this already is because it's kind of one of those movies where there's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, the basic premise is a waxwork run by the guy who created the Secret Ooze.
Yep.
And
then you push people into the waxes. The wax
comes to life in your area.
They become part of it when they die in it.
It's a ritual to bring all of them to life, which you only learn that through one line of dialogue, and then at the end they all come to life.
Just what?
Yeah.
And can we talk about how the people who come to the rescue is an army of geriatrics?
Yes, it's literally his fat butler. It's the guy in the wheelchair and like every old man that was at the pub at the time they were gathering them. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of it's like Frankenstein.
Everybody from the VFW.
Yeah, right.
The one in the wheelchair has like an armored fucking.
By the way,
wheelchair.
Made out of cardboard. Did anyone else notice that it was cardboard armor?
Oh shit!
Like literally, the Nintendo Switch fucking cardboard VR goggles are made better than his cardboard armor. So yeah, it really, the whole idea is you watch these teenagers go into different scenes. You know, you have the werewolf, you have vampire. Well, you know, teenagers who are 24. You have the werewolf, you have the vampire story, you have the weird swordsman story as well with the virgin girl.
The BDSM.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the BDSM
Well,
one.
he was the prince that wants to see her get beat. Yeah.
You have
zombies.
Zombies. You do get a mummy one with the cop.
Yeah, the mummy with the cop.
There's I think 3 off-screen stories where they just push them in and it becomes the story, which is one of them is the Phantom of the Opera. And then those 2 kids that join late in the movie, they get like pushed in and then they just become part of it. There is no like backstory for them, which it all culminates into the evil plan of essentially making these characters rise. But before they get to that part, he goes and consults this geriatric dude. And the guy's like, no, you got to burn everything.
Who was friends with his grandpa. Yeah, he was friends with his grandpa.
But he tells him to light it on fire. And it's like, oh, wait, wax melts? Like, that's the best advice you have is burn everything, burn it to the ground before here's that line of dialogue, before it can be completed with the last remaining 2. And you're like, remaining 2? They said you can only get 6 in the beginning. What are you talking about remaining 2? And then
that's the crazy thing. The main character. So in any story like this, usually the main character is explained. Like they explain to him what happened. Like we're doing this because of this, because of this, because of this. And the main characters of the story still don't know what the fuck's going on.
Well, it's almost like they try to like make the audience like, oh, you're in suspense, right? And it's like, no, you're just trying to make me remember that earlier in the movie there was supposed to be 6 and 2 left. Mm-hmm. Like you're making nothing into something, and you're using it as a fucking story device.
Actually, 4 left at the beginning, so that's why they only had 2 at the start, and then they brought in those other people.
What are you talking about? No. When they actually go into it, it's 4 of them.
At the beginning, they will go in with there's 4, and then 2 leave. So two get taken. China.
Two don't. No. There's 6 in the beginning, 6 people, and then 2 leave, and then you have 4 that go in, and then 2 die.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. There's 4. Yeah. So there's 4 altogether that they have to kill more. 6.
But this was that when after they captured him, so they were presuming they were just going to be able to. So then you have the whole thing of like, the first question I ask is like, why didn't you just turn around and walk the same direction you came in it? First off, right? Like, and then you're kind of watching the movie going, maybe that's not the lore. Maybe you can't just interdimensional travel the other way. And then fucking Gremlins guy comes out and just willy-nilly, he's like, no, go through this door. And he's walking through dimensions, and it's like, why didn't anyone think to just turn around in the beginning? Like, the werewolf story. The dipshit is getting wood. Like, just walk in the direction you fucking came in. Like, you mean to tell me you don't... That just didn't...
And so later off, they try and set it up as... if you don't believe, you can get out. And the problem I have with that is the first guy who goes in didn't believe any of it. He thought he was on drugs. He's like, they drugged me.
He thought it was
real.
what was it?
So to Matt's point,
he thought China got him on some LSD.
Yeah, he should have absolutely just poured it out.
The first thing what I would have done was like, if I walked does nobody like pay attention to behind them? Like literally the vampire story when she goes in. All she's got to do is turn around and walk backward, or just walk backwards, and she's back home.
But I think it was some of the other characters. It was because they desired that image, or they wanted to be a part of that. So China and the girl, the virgin, whatever, they both wanted to be there.
Which I'm gonna.
And then
I think you're right.
The cop with the Egyptian thing.
I think you're right. To be there. But because you're right, I'm gonna make that a negative because the movie doesn't flesh it out at all. Like the fact
Yeah,
that
they don't
the
explain
fact
it.
that we have to sit here and go, and Alex has to go, nah, it's because like every time they did that, they were, oh, I've always wanted to see, and he's right. But once again, it's the movie going, no, man, like you should understand what's going on through the text, and it's like, but your text is fucking stupid. Like I don't get, like you're not explaining things. With that said, there is some good gore, a little bit of good gore. All of the acting is pretty bad.
Creature makeup is also subpar, but it is 80s.
Creature makeup is it's very low budget looking.
But it is very 80s.
I understand it's early days, but I still have a problem. Any movie that puts a werewolf in it, I gauge. How does your werewolf look? And this one.
And how does your transformation? How does your transformation of it into a werewolf look?
The werewolf did look pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
It looked like it didn't fucking. It had no functionality. It had no.
Well, yeah. Well, it probably didn't. It was probably just like they fucking just like, hey man, here's your suit we got from Party City. Like it wasn't great. And then like the whole thing about the hunters coming in at the end and like, give me the silver ammo. And it's like, how come you don't already have that loaded? What are you hunting fucking rabbits? Like, you're out here hunting werewolves.
How slow he's going.
Werewolves. Why would you step in the vicinity of the werewolf and then like, oh wait, I gotta load.
Like,
sir?
Yeah, he looks like he's using a goddamn Springfield rifle from World War II anyway. So like, before you walk into the werewolf's cabin,
he looks like he is the Springfield
rifle. Why not have a round already chambered? Like, why are we? Yeah. And then like he literally, as he's loading it as slow as humanly possible, just watches his faithful companion get ripped in half. And he's just like, "Oh Lord!"
That was kind of cool.
Like, I thought it was hilarious when he told him, he's like, "Go distract him," and the guy looked at him like,
"Yeah, like." And then he grabs a chair like he's fucking Kevin Nash. It's like, no, this isn't. This is a werewolf. It's not. That's not Hulk Hogan in front of you. And by the way, if you grab a chair, would you smash it on him or would you hold it to like push him back?
I would poke him away.
Fend you off. I'd fend you off with it.
Like nobody's got a silver ring. Like you can't be like, ha, eat my finger, cunt, and then he eats his finger and then he swallows it and fucking like something on a blade happens where his head blows off. Like something.
2 scenes in this movie that literally had me dying laughing. I had to pause it. Was when the geriatrics are fighting, like the geriatric battle is going on. Dracula, I presume, is like, oh, he's transforming. And he flies off and
Yes! A fucking grabs right to his face. Yes, I laughed. Yes,
dude, I was laughing so fucking hard.
He transforms into a bat, and some old fucking retiree grabs him out of the air and puts a fucking barrel right to the bat's face and blows its fucking head off. Like what does it say though? Too I don't know if it's one of the side characters. Or
somebody says like, I got you.
Yeah, like you think you're tough or something like that. And then he shoots the fucking bat's head off. I laughed uncontrollably on that one too. I gotta agree.
The second one was where I guess his uncle or grandfather or the guy in the wheelchair saves him.
At the end?
He's like, get out of here.
Why was that needed?
But then the werewolf behind him just grabs his head and yanks it.
He pulled his head off like you pull like a old fence post out of the ground. Like he just wiggled it until the thing. But I thought the same thing. Like, why did he have to die?
I know
it's the end of the movie. You're killing everything, and like here's the werewolf.
It was so weird.
Come on, men.
Another martyr.
We finished our early dinner, old folks. Let's fight the wax statues.
It was so weird. And then the butler's death was like just super awkward.
So yeah, every time somebody got stabbed, it didn't look good at all. Like there was the one where one character was on top of the girl and he comes up to him and just like flop right in the side. And it looks so unnatural and just so terrible.
That's Billy. That's Billy that does that or whatever his name is.
Gremlin's boy.
But when they show it from the other angle, he's like on another side of him or something.
Yeah,
so like there was no continuity in the filming.
And what about the little dwarf person, right? It's so terribly made because she's like, I've got you now, you bastard, and she lifts him and then just then like the camera angle goes to the giant Venus flytrap, and then they just show her drop him, but it's like they don't nowhere near the Venus flytrap. You don't see him go into it or anything. She just like Like, and it doesn't make any sense because she
so
drops him
off.
like this right in front of her, and clearly
What
the
is it?
Venus flytrap is not below her. Like, where is
That's
she dropping
hilarious.
him?
What is it? How do they describe him? The little midget with the high on
I
helium
just
or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
well,
helium.
He's high on helium.
he's also German for some reason. Like, why is he German?
Oh, a lot of people in here were German.
Viva expecting
the
more.
teacher.
I would
The
just,
teacher was.
I
Yeah.
would just kicked him in the chest. You know how I feel about small characters in horror movies.
But I feel like that last battle was like, what do we do? And they probably
Well,
sat around and like, well, let's just do all the ideas.
They really
like,
did.
Let's throw the kitchen sink at
They
it.
really did ruin the moment too, because that is kind of a neat climax when like all of the monsters start to come to life, and then you're like the only bit of tension in the actual movie, and is that, and then like the geriatrics bust in, and it's
It
like,
was so
wait, what the fuck? It just goes from like creepy monster movie to like, is this the set of Jackass? Like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh wow!
But yeah, it's a goofy
All that was
ass.
missing was the horn.
yeah.
It's a
The horn
goofy ass
sound.
fucking movie. I still enjoy it, but I'm gonna give it a non-nostalgia review,
Okay.
and I'm gonna give it a 2
I'm in the same boat. Yeah, I was about to say like
because
this can't be higher.
there's just so much garbage in this movie. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll overlook it and I enjoy the movie for what it is, but like,
Oh, it's fun. Like if you want to put this on just to get a good laugh through it, it's like you could sit through it. It is enjoyable. It's
Yeah.
hilarious as all get out.
but
And it's not.
yeah,
I don't think it was trying to be funny. It's just the acting is so bad and the situations are just
no
so
no one
outrageous.
is likable. The main character literally is just some rich asshole who has his fucking Venezuelan maid writing his report for him, and then
Also-
out of the blue he can fence.
He can't fucking drink coffee, but his doorman's gonna give him fucking coffee.
Dude, I got a very
light his cigarette for him.
I-
your caffeine, your nicotine, sir.
I got a very mommy dearest vibe from his mother too. Like, she's a horror movie in her own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that was weird. The whole like, when are you gonna let me have coffee, mommy? He doesn't say mommy, but he might have fucking well as.
So Jen says jiggle physics.
We must have a bad delay. Fucking 10 minutes. Shit.
Giovanni, do you want to elaborate on the jiggle physics?
Giovanni loves his
Oh,
jiggle
the-
physics. He doesn't play
The
Skyrim unless
breastises. Yeah.
the titties can
The
slap you
jiggle
to death.
physics. Yeah.
Giovanni like literally destroys his hardware loading up mods for titty jiggle.
I did. Yeah, true.
He's over here like, I blew another hard drive. Damn you, titty jiggle. There goes my CPU again. He's got to upgrade to get more jiggle.
I need another 10 terabytes. For me, this is also a 2. But I still enjoyed the movie. It was good.
It's not a bad movie,
It's-
but like you have to understand for what it is. It's a
Yeah.
bad movie.
Like, for its time, it probably, in that realm was
It might have
less
been
bad.
mind blowing for people. It might have been mind blowing for
I mean,
people to
this
see
was
that kind
like-
of grab.
This was like 83 though. You already had the thing.
But the mummy,
That's true.
the mummy,
That's true.
fucking
Yeah, he
doing those
barely
fucking-
touches him. Like, I'm sorry if you walk that slow against me. Like, dude, you're literally petrified. I'm gonna kick your fucking legs off.
he was moving like the Ant-Man moves in fucking the one with Captain America. Where they're
Yeah,
doing
the Civil War.
So he's like the giant one. He's like, "Rrr."
Well, can I ask a question? How does a mummy bleed? Like, bleed
That was-
fresh,
yeah, that was
oxidized
weird.
red blood? Like, I may not be,
if
that
anything, it
good
should
in
just
my...
come up like black ooze.
Well, in my Egyptology, I may not be so
but
astute.
they don't have blood.
However, they don't have organs.
yeah, they don't have organs or blood.
No, everything's
no.
gone. So how the fuck
They're
is it
completely
bleeding?
Drained.
So there's stuff, and don't get me wrong. In the next movie we review, which is Deadstream, I'm also gonna bitch about technical things, because the entire movie pissed me off on a level of technicality, as in what the dude is doing could never happen. He could never do this broadcast. So with that said, Alex, Giovanni and I are both at 2, right?
Yeah, I was a 2 as well.
So we're
It's two as well. It's two
we're.
across the board.
It's sad. All three of us. The movie still only gets a 6. Loser.
I still recommend watching it though. I still
yeah,
recommend watching
check it out. It's fun, but it's dumb and it's old and cheesy looking. So like, if you're into
It
that
is-
style, you're gonna dig it. If you've never seen it, if you aren't of that era, you're gonna look at it like, what the fuck was this?
It is meant to be a comedy too, though. Like at the beginning of it, and as the things that are being said by the characters before you meet the wax characters,
I'm not going to say
it is a comedy.
I'm not going to say it's a comedy. I'll say there are lines in there, but I mean, modern horror movies is Scream a comedy? Is Saw a comedy? Because that's got one-liners in it. Like, no, I'm not going to agree that it's a comedy. It's poorly written. Like there's lines in the movie that are, I'm going to assume, try to make you like the characters, and there are little one-liners and quips. But no, I'm going to say their intention when they made this was not to be a horror comedy. It was just a cheesy horror movie. Like that's I think one of the big problems with it is when all the like stuff that's supposed to be serious is happening, it's got such a weird tonal imbalance that it's like, what the fuck is this movie doing? You know, because it's like you've got the basically the only lines I can think of comedy are the kids before they're brutally murdered. Like, so yeah, no, I think honestly the problem with this it's the writing was bad enough where you can go, it might be a comedy. I think that's part of the problem.
But I was saying, like, everything that happens before they actually go to the waxworks,
Dude,
and all the interactions between all the interactions that happens between the 6 kids, it's all comedic shit,
dude.
Because they're just fucking clowning. They're not.
I had the same fucking feeling on both of these movies we watched 5 minutes in, which is, man, I hate these fucking people and I want to see them die.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Deadstream. It is a new movie on Shudder. It is not a novel concept, if I'm being honest. But it's done well. The idea is this guy is a huge pussy, and he gets essentially banned from what you would assume is YouTube. They use other services, but
I think it's called Vivid or something.
Yeah, he's banned from streaming for 6 months because they never really say what he did. The idea,
they
idea
make
is
reference. They make
like
reference to him
got
being
hurt
racist
or
some shit like that too.
Yeah,
and him be racist. Somebody got hurt. That was the big one.
Yeah,
that he hurt somebody with one of his stunts.
Do I own Cooties? Is that a movie? I don't know if that's a movie. I don't know what that is. How about Don't Break the Ice?
Oh, is that the game?
She's talking about board games. She's out and about right now, so I think she's a little bit.
She's talking about board games versus tabletops.
I do own Don't Break the Ice. That game is legendary.
Yeah, Don't Break the Ice is a classic. I played that. My little white trash fat self as a kid. Deadstream. So Deadstream, the concept is this guy is on a redemption arc. This is his big I'm back stream, and he's doing a live stream where he goes to a haunted house. And from the get-go, you don't like the guy. And it's not because he got canceled. No. He's just fucking unlikable. Like, he embodies all of the negatives of the YouTubers you see.
The first thing about him is the tone of his voice that's fucking annoying.
Why is it so high-pitched all the time? Like, and he's just, like, he does it. Like, if you ever have watched a YouTube video and you go, fuck, this person's annoying. This guy is portraying every one of those qualities you found annoying. The movie itself does a good job in the beginning of setting that up where he's got his intro and it's got all the stupid shit YouTubers do. And, here's a title. Like, so the movie does a good job in that regard of, like, giving you the worst of what streamers are. And as a streamer, I got no problem shitting on streamers. Believe me, it's hard to get any sort of exposure in this industry. So when I see fucking assholes that have mass exposure, it's like, fuck this guy.
In a nutshell, he's Logan Paul going to China or wherever it was and going to that forest.
So
the suicide forest.
Let's talk about this real quick.
That's what he is.
But I'm not defending Logan Paul. I don't like Logan Paul. I don't think what he did was wrong.
But he was going there to do that for that reason. He was going there for shock value to film.
It's called the fucking Suicide Forest. If I went to Japan, I might want to check it out myself. He just happened to be a high-profile vlogger. But did he really do anything wrong? Should he have posted the footage of the body hanging? Maybe not. But what did he really do that was wrong besides recording what somebody else had done?
No, the only thing he did was wrong was post it. He shouldn't have posted it.
Like, or blur
after reviewing
blur it out completely.
Said, no,
like,
I'm not going to do this.
But at the maximum, it's only slightly disrespectful. And why do I say that? Because the person killed themselves anyways. So, like, at the most, he was slightly disrespectful to a person who decided to end their life early, who
But
doesn't even know he's there.
I think he went there with the intention, hoping that he would get that, so he
Of
can get
course
these,
he would, so he can get footage. But
because he is about ratings chaser.
But
he is a ratings chaser.
But my point is, how is it so fucking wrong? It's called the Suicide Forest. He didn't kill anybody. He didn't coach anybody to suicide. He went to something that's named aptly and took footage of it. Where, besides being slightly disrespectful to an already dead person, where is the, like, you know what I mean? Like, where is the, why? I don't understand why he was tried to be canceled for that. I thought it was bullshit. And I still think, frankly, the guy didn't do much wrong. Is he maybe an asshole? Sure. Like, yeah, you're disrespectful to the person who decided to kill themselves. But once again, they fucking already killed themselves. Like, there's not, in my eyes, there's not a whole lot of fault there on his part. He did what he does, which is be an asshole vlogger, and people who kill themselves do what they do, which is what he captured. What is he supposed to go capture? He tells his audience, I'm going to the suicide forest. I'm sure when he recorded it, because he is an asshole, it was like, yeah, thank God we got a dead body, bro. This will be good footage. And didn't even think about it and just posted it, right?
Yeah.
Which is what he does as an asshole vlogger. But in the same token, the person's already fucking dead. Like, who is he disrespecting? This isn't a graveyard. This isn't a hospital. It's a fucking suicide forest. Who is he disrespecting? Now, once again, fuck Logan Paul. I'm not an advocate for him. I'm not a defender. But in that case, I don't think the guy did anything wrong. I highly doubt the family, you know what I mean? Like, they probably don't have much family. Why? Because they're fucking dead. Just saying. Like, sure, he's a dick, but to cancel him over that? Nah. With that said, I wanted this guy to be canceled with harsh violence. The moment I heard him, I think I texted you guys and was just like, I want this guy to die so bad. Because he's just so unlikable. Like, everything he does gets more and more unlikable until the very end. Oh, I want to ask this. When he goes into the closet and accidentally steps on the thing, did you guys think that was a protection spell, or did you think he fucked up and destroyed an artifact that was important to the ghosts? Because I thought it was like, oh shit, you destroyed a satanic artifact, like you fucked up, but it was actually a protection spell. I didn't see that coming.
With the two digits pointing out, it is a protection
in
thing.
the closet. I didn't see that coming.
It
so
is a protection thing.
I like the idea where they were like, "Nah, dipshit, you destroyed them," and then like the old woman's explaining like, "This is what I did, and this is how it's safe," and then he's like, "Oh, he broke it," and she's like, "Oh, he's fucked." That was pretty funny.
I believe that is a real thing though, because the way it's positioned, it looks like two thumbs on an eye.
It's a sign of protection for a lot of cultures. I think it changed with paganism with the pentagram, which was a sign of protection.
Yeah. So there's things in this movie. For one thing, I have to say, we'll get the negatives out. Technologically wise, he couldn't have done a stream. I don't know if you guys noticed, he was using GoPro 8s. There was a moment where the camera wasn't even on his head, and when the camera's on but it's not recording, in the front screen it displays the number. Like, I have a GoPro Hero 10, so when it's on but you're not recording, it displays 10. So there is one shot where you can physically see the 8 in the GoPro. GoPro 8s, hell, GoPros now, they have Wi-Fi, but it's literally just to connect to their app to upload the photos and videos you've taken to like your iPod or your iPad and shit. So there is no wireless capabilities like he's using. There is no wireless stream capabilities. As you notice throughout the movie, it keeps going from his head cam to another cam. That doesn't happen. He can't be doing that on stream.
So the device that he's using, the tablet, which is an iPod or iPad or whatever, it's got a device also stuck into there. Could that have been the receiver that's generating the Wi-Fi?
He can't physically stream that much hardware trying to stream all those. I can barely handle 2 webcams on my PC when streaming because USBs and webcams take a lot of power. For one thing, you can't use a GoPro. Like, you can use one maybe, especially on an iPad. They don't have the horsepower to run all that hardware. They don't have, for one thing, you're also out in the middle of nowhere. Where is your Wi-Fi signal coming from?
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, and if that place is abandoned, and the way he described getting there, like there he would have signal
There would
problems to
there would
stream
be
with all that
signal.
If
Yeah.
I remember correctly, he said you had to drive in the middle of nowhere and then an hour down another dirt road to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So he wouldn't have signal even, let's say, if he could use a hotspot. You're not using Starlink. There is no software. For one thing, where he's putting all the cameras around, that's fake. That's bullshit. You can't Wi-Fi or wirelessly connect GoPros to a CCTV app. And then I'm supposed to believe that you're not only streaming your head cam, but another cam, but you're also streaming the screen with all of the cams. Wait a second. No, everybody's able to actually look at individual cameras on the stream. It's all bullshit. It's all fake. It is the fakest fucking thing I've ever seen in regards to, like, the reason why Ghost Adventures, when they do it live, it's a big spectacle because they literally have the same feeds that news stations have. That's how you're getting the recordings. This guy had none of that. He had a goddamn, how does he have signal on his laptop? There is no Wi-Fi booster that's going to get you an hour away in town. If this area is as recluse as they say it is, you're probably not going to have great cell tower coverage. So the movie, unfortunately, from the get-go, you really have to suspend huge disbelief in what this guy's actually doing. Because I've actually thought about how you would do a stream like this, and you can't. You can do it one of two ways. You have multiple people with multiple devices, but even then, you're only streaming one stream of conscious. It just wouldn't work. Now, I'm sure there's wireless cams that you could wirelessly, if you had signal, wirelessly connect to the laptop via a router or whatever. And then maybe you could broadcast, but even then you can't broadcast the individual cameras without somebody pressing and ticking over to each individual camera. So, on that premise, the whole movie is bullshit. Every single thing you see is a fallacy because he can't be doing what he's doing. With that said, the movie itself, I think, is a decent effort into trying to create this idea of a streamer going into a haunted house. And here's the thing, it's not a novel concept. You have some asshole recording, in this case streaming, as they go into a haunted house and shit goes wrong. Another big negative is the chick that comes in, Chrissy. As soon as she steps into the movie, you know that she, spoiler alert, is the ghost.
Yeah.
Not a doubt in my mind, as soon as she stepped on camera, like, okay, she's going to end up being the ghost. She's the bad guy. I already know this. Why do I know this? Because it's so cliche. And they didn't even, like, there's not really even hints at that point. It's just, you can immediately tell.
Also,
it was more, not even hints. It was more like the minute she shows up, you're like, she's a ghost.
Yeah.
And then when he's walking with her downstairs and he's like, where'd you go? You just disappear like that. It was more like a nod to, like, did you get that she was a ghost?
Yeah, and that's a problem, right? Because then he does the whole line of questioning where it's like, you drove, and that's where you find out that it's an hour down a dirt road, and it's like,
yeah,
the fact that, like, you're asking this, you're giving way too much away. Like, the fact that your main character is going, it's basically impossible that you're here. You're foreshadowing for the bullshit. And unfortunately, if you are a fan of horror movies and you watch them regularly and you've, like we are, that sort of shit ruins things. I mean, from as soon as she walked in, I go, okay, she's going to be the ghost. She's going to be the demon, whatever.
Also, when she showed up, I was like, he was barricading the room. And I'm like, hey, dumbass, the door opens out.
Well, here's my other thing.
When he pulls the thing.
Yeah, oh, yeah, when he puts the shelf in front of it. Yes. But here's my thing, right? Like, they're trying to clearly emulate the Ghost Adventure style.
Yeah.
I don't know what moron has made this the status quo. It's someone in Ghost. Somebody watched Ghost Adventures and go, oh, that's totally realistic. Ghosts don't like light, right? Because he's in his little lit room, there's no way a ghost can enter, right? And then at the end of the movie, she enters no problem as she's beating his ass.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, also, I gotta be honest with you, the creature design in this movie is not that much above WaxWork.
No, they were pretty much like equal.
Like
I think only she looked the best, but it's not hard to do like crazy, like witch kind of like,
But
decrepit skin
Yeah.
style. That's a
but
very
even with
One
common.
thing they did good
even with her,
was
it looked too dry. It looked
well,
too dry.
I will say with her they did pretty well on like the first time you see her she looks human. The second time you see her in her real form, she's kind of fucked up, but still fairly human. And then by the end, she's more fucked up and more white,
Mm.
and so they do degrade her throughout the movie, which I think is pretty well done. I also think the best, if not one of the best scenes. No need to. I understand it, baby. You're so far behind. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're responding to. Um, like one
I
of
updated just to see.
no, it's she's got to be starting like she wasn't able to watch, so she's starting it
Oh, so there's a
behind.
pause. There's a
Yeah,
pause.
Mm.
Okay.
I don't know if she realizes that or not though, or unless it's just a huge lag. There could be a huge lag. Well, that would just be a real big goddamn lag. Uh, but yeah, the one scene I thought that was done really well, even though the character was really annoying during it, is the bathtub scene where he's been
Oh,
taken over, and then she starts
Oh
to
yeah, yeah,
drown
yeah.
him, and then he's able to fight his way back. I actually really thought that scene was pretty clever. Like
dude.
that's the type of scene though that you can expect that when that camera comes on and his eyes are white, that the movie would cut right there. I
Yeah.
expected that, and the fact that
I kept checking
I
this.
thought that
I
was
kept
the
checking
end.
the time.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, how much time is left?
yeah, and the fact that they kept that going after was
What-
you were able to trick me. You like I
When
thought
he-
the movie was
when
done.
when he reached into the water and pulled out the eyeball, I was like, oh shit! And then he went. I was like, what the fuck? And he ate the fucking eyeball.
I did find his noises when he's
Ugh.
eating. He's just like, yeah, that's that's
Oh.
like he was really enjoying that eyeball.
Yeah.
So I did
It's
find
so
that funny,
good.
but I liked that scene. I thought that scene, like the movie, isn't bad. I don't want to make it seem like I
It's
hated the
not.
movie. It's worth
Also,
a
if you-
watch if you're in the mood for like a kind of just a goofy,
Mm-hmm.
comedic horror movie.
If you put away all the shit about what you know is true about the real world, it can make sense in some kind of way. So like oh, maybe there is a device out there that makes you have a Wi-Fi signal. If you put that away, the disbelief of all that shit, it's a fucking movie.
Well, yeah, which
See,
is
being
okay,
that
but
I'm into electronics, I understand where Matt's coming from. When
Yeah.
the ghosts are more believable than the setup that he has, I get it. I
Well,
get
yeah.
that part.
here's
for
the
sure.
thing: is it didn't like ruin the movie for me, but it is one of those things. Just like as somebody who has to know stuff about this to do my own stream, like
Yeah.
just logistically, what he's doing is impossible. Like, and not even just his other GoPros, but like the fact that throughout the movie it goes from his facing head cam to him, then it goes from another camera, and then it goes from the hallway
What-
camera. He couldn't possibly be doing that on the stream.
What about him being fucking MacGyver making a fucking selfie stick out of a Slim Jim
I found
and a
that
GoPro?
funny. I found him stupid though. The only
and some
thing
duct tape?
the only thing he did right in this movie was use the spud gun. Which why didn't you bring that with you? You mean to tell me
And
you
he
couldn't
shot
have, you couldn't have loaded up rocks?
And he shot a bobblehead like what's sitting out of your left shoulder.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the dumbest thing this stupid little piece of shit did. Removing the spark plugs from his car.
Yeah.
Like, any horror movie fan that watched that goes, what the fuck is this guy doing? I did. I literally, my head and my hands are going, this is just stupid. I don't know what to think of this. This is dumb. Yeah, I was also pretty disappointed with the creature design. Now, okay, the ending. It is cliche. What did you guys think of it?
I did like it. I thought it rounded out the story really well. That's what I mean by I liked it.
Yeah, I think
did
it
its job.
needed that sort of ending to really
Yeah.
have any sort of like. If he would have just left and gone home, I'd have been very disappointed.
It was a bit predictable, but it
Yeah.
was still something that had to happen.
And that ending was almost kind of a campy Waxwork ending where everything comes out of the woodwork and it attacks. You know what I mean? So like, I do appreciate it, but once again, the fact that the movie ends with "stream has ended" just really kicks you in the balls with the unrealism in that department.
Another thing I
It
didn't.
shouldn't have been that. It should have been the found
I
footage.
think the thing that gets me through the movie is that the director and the creator of the story took the main character and wanted him to be that annoying live streamer.
The actor
But
did a good
I
job.
think
You got to give it
tried-
to him.
I think he tried too hard though. I think it went too a little
To
too
the
far.
point
Like
where
you don't
you
go
just-
full
you just
retard when you
fucking-
play a retarded person. You know
So,
what I mean?
so what you're saying is he was supposed to be unlikable, and instead he was hateable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt that too.
Just too far. I think if he dumbed it back a little bit, like when the ghost shit started, even his arguments with the ghost when she was a human, he's like, I can't deal with you right now. There's ghost shit going on. Just his tone and his energy, I was like, you can't even believe him then. Like I thought
He,
he was gonna get more serious.
Yeah, he
I
never.
haven't,
Like
I
He
haven't.
go on. Sorry.
I was saying, I haven't watched much of this, but he reminded me of Charlie O'Day. The way he was fucking yelling, the
Yeah,
way he was trying to be that guy.
maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like he was trying to be him.
The problem is he's also trying to be a pussy. Like his whole character
Yeah.
is he's a coward, right?
mhm.
So like, but not all pussies scream like a little bitch every time something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The character was really exaggerated. Um, there was just a couple. There was a couple smart things he did. Then there's a lot of stupid shit he did. Like one of the smart things was putting the head cam on her.
Yeah.
Like if I'm just suspending belief here or disbelief here, and he's actually able to do all this, it is a cool thing for him to throw a camera on her head so he can track where she is. That's pretty smart.
Taking off his pants was smart, and putting it behind the desk.
That come into
Oh, when
play.
he
So
tricked her with
But yeah,
Oh,
when she
yeah,
came
yeah.
in, she saw his
the
feet there.
shoes and the
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I tell you, I watched a movie with Sylvester Stallone the other day.
Matt was
called-
like taking off his pants.
yeah,
what?
I remember the
What
pants
you
off,
talking
but,
about?
but there's a movie called
What the
Cobra
fuck are
with
you on?
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh,
And
really?
there's a scene where he puts his
A car?
MP5 that he fits a laser pointer on top of, not next to, or like how nowadays you have a Picatinny rail. In Cobra, he creates a bracketing system that goes on top of his MP5 with this giant laser. And there's a scene where he just puts it in. They're in a steel mill, and he puts it in a crevasse. So his laser is going across so the enemy can see. And the enemy comes up to it and goes, "Oh, where is he?" And he just comes up behind him and stabs him right in the back. Now, he's a cop in this movie, by the way. And he stealth kills this guy brutally. I think this character in this movie may have watched Cobra. That's all I'm saying.
Ah.
I
Gotcha.
really did watch Cobra recently. And God, is that movie fucking ridiculous. But I really do like it. It's got the bad guy from Mortal Kombat 2. He's the bad guy in Cobra as well.
Oh, nice.
So Stallone literally lifts him up and puts him on one of these steel mill hooks that's designed to take the giant vats into the fire. And they get into this really terrible fight at the end of the movie where it just looks stupid. And half of the fight is Stallone like, "You're not going to stab me!" Like, literally, there's 3 scenes where, like, Stallone's like, "Ugh," and the blade is getting closer to his eye. And then it's like, "Ugh," another scene. The fight scene is ridiculous, and it literally
Was it a hot poker?
No, it was a curved
You said
blade.
steel mill. You said steel
They're
mill. So
in
I
a
was thinking
steel mill.
I was thinking a hot poker. or
You're
something.
old enough. You should have seen this movie, Alex. It's got spikes on the handle, and it's a curved blade. It's the signature blade the serial killer's been using.
Oh.
And Stallone then just kind of like upsy daisies and picks him up and lifts him on top of one of the hooks. And so the movie, the way the bad guy ends or dies is he's literally going, "Ah! Ah!" And he's just screaming on this hook until it takes him into the fire. like that's and then the ending, they don't actually show him go into the fire. The screaming stops, and then you see a horribly, like, his body in there just limp, and it's in slow motion because he could. I don't know why, but it's clearly a dummy. And then there's a scene later on where there's an asshole guy, a detective, that's been fucking with Cobretti. By the way, his name is Marion Cobretti. And he's been fucking with Cobretti the whole time. He's been talking shit to him. He's been trying to get him fired, right? And at the end, he goes, "Hey, Cobretti, no hard feelings, right?" And Cobretti, looking up to him because Stallone's only 5'9", he goes, "Oh yeah, no hard feelings." He turns around, he shakes his hand, and then he punches him in the face, and he goes, "Yeah, no hard feelings," and walks away. Yeah, the movie is just riddled with terribleness, but I like it.
And we give that movie a 4? No.
No. I probably couldn't give that movie more than a 2.5 either. All right, so Deadstream, what are you guys thinking? What are we going numbers wise? I don't know where I'm rolling on this one because I do want to say,
For me,
good job being a one-man show essentially, right? Like it's a one-man show.
Mhm.
pretty much the whole thing.
So they did a good job doing that, but there is a lot of wrong with it.
I'm gonna go with a 3 for me because it is entertaining. It is It is what it is. Like you got those creatures that they come up with, and they're shitty looking creatures, but it makes sense because it's probably like one of those low budget fucking really shitty horror movies.
Yeah.
But the guy was really trying.
You want to know how low the budget is? It's 2023. The film probably didn't take that long to film. So I'm going to figure within the past year and a half it was filmed, right? Yet they're still using GoPro Hero 8s, which means in making the film, they got a bunch of older GoPros for cheap.
Yeah.
That's why they were using those. So you're going to imagine the budget on this movie was very small.
I mean, box office was $1 million, but it doesn't say nothing about a budget.
I mean, I couldn't see the budget for this being more than what, 50 grand?
Yeah, it's got to be
There's
somewhere.
no way this can pass 100 grand. There wasn't a lot of like special effects in terms of like digital special effects.
Yeah, but they used a lot of dark dark colors for like the blood and for everything. So it was syrup. It was a lot of practical shit.
I want to ask this.
So it was very low budget.
Maybe say
but
this.
I like it. I like it.
I would have appreciated this style for a Resident Evil 7 movie. Like the set piece, and it did give me Resident Evil 7 vibes with it being a family and everything. And maybe that's why the lack of creature design kind of threw me off, right? Because you get a couple cool things, which is you got the sheriff, but even the sheriff ends up clearly being a doll after, you know what I mean? Like,
but that also made me think of Creep Show.
Yeah,
like the stuff that was going on with that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe my problem was I was just like I'm not gonna hate on the creature design that much because I've already kind of hated on the technical shit. I just wish like the creatures were pretty lame compared to nowadays. Like I mean, look at fucking Last of Us. That dude's, that what they're talking about, the blower and how much work was put into that, and it's like,
oh yeah, the bloated dude.
The Last of Us probably has $12 million an episode budget. Don't get me wrong, but in the same token, like the costumes looked very stiff, very fake.
It did remind me of the Ghoulies. Do you remember that or no?
I remember the movie, but I don't remember much about it.
So the last creature you see that comes out through the door reminded me of the Ghoulies, where the face doesn't move, but the face is there. It's like it's all up in there.
Well, so it's a little bit.
There's no moving pieces.
So I think then we all agree that if the character design, creature design is reminding you of a movie from the early '80s, there's a problem. Like if some of the creature design reminds me of Waxwork creatures, we've got a bit of a problem. With that,
I think it was a throwback to that, but it went too far throwback.
I think it's going to basically break down the budget. I think it was more or less like, how do we create a creature that sits in water and then its head explodes? Okay, we make it from styrofoam. You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of it was practically, how do we do this with the budget we have, with the circumstances we have? And that was it. Because, like, the end creature that pops out on the last creature you see, that creepy face, that was okay. The one real creature that I thought was just shit was the bathtub one. And then everything else is just passable. Like, you have the kid that comes out with the thing growing out of him. The sheriff was okay, but then once they kill the sheriff, he's clearly like a styrofoam doll.
Yeah. I think the weakest one was the tall man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't really tall. It's more pudgy.
Yeah. Which was the other thing, that was maybe the other thing too, is I would have liked to see more of the family.
Oh, that would have been cool, yeah.
Like, give me some more of, like, you only really get to see the kid, like, twice, and it's very quick. You get to see the bathtub one okay, you get to see Chrissy okay, you get to see the sheriff a decent amount. But it would also, I did appreciate once he knocked the sheriff down the first time, how it kind of did that Resident Evil thing where it's gurgling on the ground as it transforms, you know?
He's crawling over little by little.
Yeah, little by little.
With his Slim Jim cam. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm going to say the biggest, and I think it comes kind of what Giovanni was saying, that it was overdone. Like, the acting was overdone.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest complaints I have is I just hate the fucking main character. Like, there is no likability to him. And even
there's only one person through the majority of the show, and you don't like him.
Well, even when you get, like, a little bit of, okay, he's not that bad, he immediately does something or says something and go, oh, fuck this guy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Which sucks because like when the movie starts, in the first 10-15 minutes, you've established that he's not a likable guy. So like I hate the constant reminders.
which I think also really hurts because did anyone else essentially get the message that the filmmaker is saying, which is cancel culture is toxic, the parameters on YouTube is which I agree with, parameters on you, but I think the problem with that is if that's your basis, right, where the whole concept then is essentially this guy was wrongly canceled, would essentially be the concept.
Yeah.
So you could have made good points if your character wasn't A, so unlikable, and B, so stupid. The problem is when you make him unlikable and you make every line of dialogue he says kind of a fucking dumb thing to say, then the whole idea of like he was wrongly canceled goes right out the fucking window because you already hate him. So it's like, I don't even know why this guy was canceled, but I'm fucking glad he was because he sucks. Like, that's the problem.
The only thing like the only thing that he said that made me funny was in the beginning when it's on October 2022, you know, what so and so disappeared and was never seen again. He's
It's
like,
the t-shirt.
"Hey, I'm selling these."
Well, and that's the other thing, right? Is several times in the movie he goes, "I don't even care about the money. It's not about the fucking money," but the whole time he's hawking merch.
Yeah.
Like from the moment he goes live,
they show his face like this, and he's got all this.
Yeah. Like he's such a hypocrite because he literally talks about YouTubers that are only in it for the money, and then literally his entire stream he's selling people shit.
Yeah.
And like
he's an entire fucking pop-up ad.
So it is a weird. I would be curious to hear an interview with the writer director because I'd like to know where they were coming from because you've got part of it is them trying to say essentially cancel culture is run amok. You know, people are getting canceled for no reason, like, or just because they had a difference of an opinion. And then you have kind of the other story of this guy really is just kind of a douche. But then you've got the other thing of them going against YouTube policy. So something about this, it tells me when they were writing it, they had a deeper message in there. And then like, as it went along, they're just like, we kind of made a character that nobody likes. Maybe yes, I say amok. It's a good, it's a good terminology. Now,
It's also Pokemon.
Yeah, you know what? I started playing the new Pokemon game.
I have two.
I recently started Scarlet because what happened was I was playing Yakuza Like a Dragon, which is turn-based. And by the way, because it's turn-based, it's one of the best fucking Yakuza games ever made. Oddly enough.
I heard.
That sounds so crazy when you say Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Okay, so that's these fucking Japanese people at Sega's fault, right? Here's what they've done. Like a Dragon is Yakuza. That's the Japanese title. It's not called Yakuza in Japan. It's called Like a Dragon. So now what they've done is they've unified them. So every Yakuza game is now like the new one is Yakuza 7 Ishin Like a Dragon. Or Yakuza Like a Dragon, Yakuza 7 Like a Dragon. The new one, they did announce a new one, which I think is going to be turn-based, and I think it's going to have the same characters as the one I just beat, which I'm very happy for because I want a sequel to that one. Hoketh Poketh. But I needed some turn-based action, so I was like, I haven't fucking touched Pokemon, and it gives you enough turn-based RPG to do.
Yeah. What I think they were trying to do is like the very famous people who make the Dynasty Warriors game. The Team Ninja people. They have their Dynasty Warriors and then like spin-offs. And I think they were trying to establish Yakuza and Like a Dragon. And these, you know, you can go two different routes, two different games.
I can understand how it would be confusing if you're an American fan and you're like, what the fuck is Like a Dragon? Is that a Yakuza game? And it's like, yeah, it's the Yakuza franchise. So I can understand why they basically said, no, we're going to have one title. But because they've had 6 Yakuza games, starting at Yakuza 7 and then going Like a Dragon makes it seem like, no, the title is Yakuza 7, Like a Dragon subtitle. But that's not the case. It's literally the full fucking title. So yeah, I started playing the Pokemon game. Alex, you gave this movie a 3, right?
I did give it a 3.
What are you feeling on this, Giovanni?
I did like it. And I can look past the annoying parts. I will say giving, you know me, I love lore movies. So I like the lore in it. I love found footage, or shaky cam. I like that.
I do too.
So I can give it a 3 as well, because it was interesting enough to get through.
Yeah.
Realistically, though, I'd probably go a 2.5, like halfway there.
I think I'm
Like
gonna.
realistically,
I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 3, but it's gonna be on the precedence that this would have made a much better VHS segment than a full movie.
Okay.
that makes it. Well, the people who did the going to hell
Yeah.
segment in the last VHS did this one,
Which
and
this story I
kudos to
think would have
them.
been better in a
Compressed,
20,
yes.
25-minute compression.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you went straight from the introducing him right into the haunting, like I'm talking middle of the road. He's already set up. He just explains it real quick, and then shit just starts. Like I think it would have been a better.
Or do it where he starts the stream in the house and then the stream cuts out, and then when it comes back, she's on his head punching him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, just right
when she was smacking him against the wall,
yeah, exactly. Like she's beating the shit out of him when the stream comes back up,
or sticking her finger in his fucking
Dude,
nose.
what
But
was
you know what?
up
I
with
can relate
that?
to that. I can relate to that because I had that bloody nose during the whole pandemic thing, and I don't know what the hell happened. And it just kept bleeding, and I ended up getting rushed to the hospital. I was like, oh my god! I was like, please stop, please. Oh god.
And here's the problem I think the problem I have with that scene is those fingers up his nose is only for him to then later on go,
Yeah,
I gotta
the finger
sacrifice my which is lazy writing. It's waxwork lazy writing.
And again, when he finds the finger in the box, instead of like,
Thinking
it's
about
more
it.
like, hey, did you get it yet? Like, it's like that those constant reminders. Like,
Yeah.
Also, his plan of absorbing the souls himself. What a shit plan is that?
I know in the minute he announced it,
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
It's like, wait,
you're
so
gonna be stuck there. You're not getting it. You're gonna be stuck there.
One of my favorite scenes.
But he is a stupid guy, though.
He is, and one of my favorite scenes is when the old woman is just like, "Well, he accidentally destroyed it," and she's like, "Oh, he's fucked." Like that
He's
made
gonna
me
die.
That made me laugh out loud. I was like, "All right, this movie's got some legitimate funny lines in it. I just don't want them set by this asshole."
She actually says he's gonna die.
Yeah.
And she was
like
right.
No
Spoiler
remorse,
alert.
just went straight at it.
I guess here's my synopsis of it. Go check it out. Because we are such fans of, like, handy cam movies or found footage, whatever you want to call them. It's worth a shot. It's funny. It's not scary. Straight up, there is no really horror in this movie, in my opinion.
There are some jump scares if you are into jump scares. If you get scared by that shit.
I think this is one of those movies, and I may try to watch it with Jen, because I think it is one of those movies that's goofy enough to pull someone who wouldn't normally watch a horror movie in, and maybe get some enjoyment out of it.
Okay.
Maybe they would just get the finger in the nose, or its head exploded.
Yeah. With that being said, I won't say what I was gonna comment on, because I don't know if Jen's still watching right now, but there was a scene where when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. I like that
Which
shot.
one?
The feet going through the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, I like that. I like that.
Out of the window scene, it made me laugh so hard.
Yeah, where he just fucking flip. Let me ask you, because I'm thinking about it. What did you guys think of the concept of only the cameras can see them, and not even his GoPro, but only the other GoPros can actually see them at a certain point?
See, that's where I thought it was weird.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Like, only the cameras can see them, but if all the cameras are in night vision mode, why can't his GoPro see it? Well, it's in night vision mode.
They're making you draw the assumption of it's attached to him, so that's why you're not seeing it yet.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense, though.
It's outside of his vision, so he sees it.
Incorrect.
That's what I'm thinking they're doing, is they're making you...
They fucked up wildly with one scene then, and it's the spear cam.
Yeah.
The fact that the spear cam pokes into nothing and then is then utilized by a nothing to stab him, that is one huge fuck up in the movie.
Even before that, when he knows it's the tall man, he's holding the scene where he's looking at the wall where the tall man's standing, and there's nothing there. Like, that camera should be able to show him something.
Yeah. There's so much of, like, the logic that goes in that just doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, the technical logic beyond the fact that he can't actually be streaming this. The way they interpret, like, for one thing, the first thing he sees is one of those shitty fake things you see on all the ghost movie or ghost videos on YouTube.
Like, white outer shape.
Yeah, but then you never see it again, and it's all real ghosts. So it's like, there's a lot of shit they do in this where I feel like they didn't know where to go with it, or they threw it in there for shits and giggles. And because of that, the tone is fairly constant, but the logic in the movie makes so little sense at times that it does have the ability to pull you out. That would probably be my biggest gripe of like somebody who is a nerd, who does stream, who knows about technology. If you watch this, you're going to be like me going, like, I'm sure Giovanni at the same time was like, the fuck is, these are GoPros. What the fuck is going on here?
You have to understand it's so bothersome because that technology is the primary focus of the movie.
It is the only way he's able to make the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much ups and downs with how it makes sense, how it's put together, that it for me, it was a problem. For me, I just watching him stick these GoPros around like he's Hulk Hogan in Suburban Commando when he's going through the fucking, when he's going through the tunnel and he's just sticking the bombs to the tunnel. That's basically how he was throwing fucking GoPros around. I knocked over an empty
and then
can
using
of
duct
Dr.
tape
Pepper.
on a fucking dusty wall.
I mean, but once again, he does some smart things. He cuts his leg open, he duct tapes it. That's actually pretty smart. However,
his neck
before he duct tapes it, rather than just pouring the solution on his leg, he Q-tips it. What
a little Q-tip.
What a
and
moron.
It's only the corner of the wound.
What a fucking moron!
The fucking thing on the leg.
Yeah, you literally waste the entire container on the leg and you duct tape the shit out of it. Like,
speaking of that, I love the scene where what's her face gets hurt and he's like, I'm just gonna leave this first aid kit for you right here at the stairs.
Did anyone else just like find it so stupid that he's like, I'm gonna go confess to a murder. I killed someone. It's just like, bro, you're in a fucking haunted house. Like, stop with this is beyond realistic. Like, if somebody was in a haunted house and then was attacked by somebody to which they had to defend themselves and kill that person, like, you wouldn't be acting that way. You just wouldn't. Your first thought would be get the fuck out, and nothing would stop you.
Yeah, I would have like fucking launched at the door.
Like also, I would
have threw my body at the door. Like, get me out of here.
I also thought it would have been much smarter for them to like kind of show how much of a fraud he is, instead of him actually removing the spark plugs. If he would have ran to the car and he's like, I know what you're thinking, but I lied. I didn't take the fucking spark plugs, and starts the car and then has it die on him. Like,
that would have been
you
good.
could have built more horror. You could have given more background to how stupid he is and how much of a liar a YouTuber can be. There's things that had it been budget, had it been maybe they were tunnel visioned, I don't know. But there's things they could have done in this that writing
like
and
the dome light's been on all night and your battery died. That happens.
Yeah, you know what? There you go. Where he's on stream and he goes, "Yeah, I lied. There's spark plugs in it," and then it doesn't kick over, and he goes, "Oh shit, the light was on the whole time." So anything, you know what I mean? And
because he needed light to video himself, because that's what you do.
I left the fucking headlights on. Whatever the case may be, I think that'd have been much better than just throwing the spark plugs into the woods is something Michael fucking Scott would do.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a good thing for it was just stupid.
Is that before or after he turned on the Foreman grill?
So what if I like to wake up to the smell of crispy bacon? So there's so many things wrong about that whole thing. First off, it's on the floor. Secondly, you wake up 40.
Why is it in your bedroom?
You wake up 45 minutes before you're supposed to start your floor bacon. Like, there's just so many things wrong with him burning his foot on the floor. And then later on, when he's doing the bachelor party and he's cooking the steaks, and Ryan's like, "Is this the same?" And he's like, "I cleaned it." Like, I'm sorry, if I stepped on a Foreman grill, I would just buy a new one if I was gonna you know what I mean? However, I think it would be funny if I still say, you do a Michael Scott show with his family now. You set it in the present because he was supposed to have 2 or 3 kids when you meet him in the final season. And you don't set it up like Modern Family, where it's about Michael Scott raising 3. We'll give him 3 daughters. Don't give him any sons. Raising, and you know what I mean? And then you could do things like Michael Scott discovers air fryers. You know, like there's so much that Michael Scott would talk about nowadays.
Michael Scott dealing with menstruation.
Exactly. Like
that.
Like if
but can that be made with the way things are now? Because Michael Scott is fucking weird.
Maybe not, but you're literally shitting on You're shitting on the white male, so you can get away with anything you want in network television.
Oh yeah,
That's just how it is. I'm sorry, but could you
it can
imagine
happen.
Michael Scott, the woman who plays Holly, comes back, and it's a modern family style show where it's like, what was the movie he was in? It's almost like a more comedic, dumb version of Dan in real life. That show would work, but you make it Michael Scott and him discovering things about raising a family. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, he'll be a little bit more matured.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe he's making a road
Or
trip to Scranton or where. Well, they're not everybody's still there because you got Jim and Pam are, I think, going to Texas.
Or
by
as
the end of the
everything
show.
happens, he learns a little bit more.
What if he did the Scott family road trip? Because the girls are going there. He's got twins and he's got one in high school, and the twins are going off to college. Like, think about it. There's a lot of stuff you could do with that character for a new premise where it's like, no, we're doing one last family road trip. And then that way, if you want, when they go to Texas, you can bring in Jim and Pam for a cameo. When you go wherever, Atlanta, I think, is where Daryl really loved. You go to Atlanta, Daryl's in Atlanta. Or they're still working, whatever the case is.
Where was the Shroot Farm at? Was that still in Scranton?
That was Scranton, yeah. And that's the thing, yeah. I mean, we all know the fate of the Dwight show. They literally released that one episode that was a pilot for his own show. And that episode tested so poorly that they just shit-canned his own show.
Oh.
It's the one where he is dating the other farm girl. It's the one where his aunt dies. And then you see his brother who's rich, who has a weed farm, and like his sister come back into the fold. And it's that weird episode where it's like all about him basically telling his sister that her son needs a man in his life. It's just a weird episode that I think tested so poorly it literally killed the Dwight sideshow. Which is weird, but we'll do we need an Office episode, guys. I'm sorry. We need an Office. I don't know how we do it because I watch it so often that I don't need to watch it at all. But we need to figure out, like, let's just do an Office appreciation episode where we discuss it in our favorite episodes, rather than trying to do like a let's review season 1 through 4. No, fuck that. I think we just do when Lewis is back up and operational after his informing on the mob. We can we should talk about an Office episode.
He was doing his undercover work that got the the cartel to apologize.
I'm not going to say anything because it's none of you guys' fucking business who are watching. However, between us three, I can understand that anger.
Yeah.
I have been in that anger myself, so.
Oh.
That wouldn't stop us from. Yeah, it wouldn't stop Jen and I from rewatching it again. We're fucking sick in the head. We watch it way too often. With that said, I think we're doing an episode next week. Give me a second. I got an itch.
The leprechaun.
Tickle in the back of my throat.
It is St. Patty's Day next Friday.
I think we're doing an episode next. Yeah, we'll have to. Alex and I will have to discuss that because if there is an episode, it'll be him and I. And then the week after that,
unless everybody else is available,
the week after that is Kill Bill 1 and 2. So yeah, next week we'll play it by ear because I got to see what's going on. All in all. And then the week after will be the Kill Bills, and then we'll go from there. But I think we're good. You guys have a wonderful night. Shut up, Siri. And we will hopefully see you next week, or I will see you Monday.